feel I have 10 guys that deserve to get a lot of minutes. I've been using practice to see who plays well together. I think that, to me, with this group, it's more important than anything. Derek, with his aggressiveness driving defensively, he really helps us out. Isaiah's he's really worked on shot selection and being a little bit more consistent with his shot, and I think Kadeen's a little bit of a mix of both of them. What Derek gave us was the opportunity to stop 17 points a game, and he's lived up to that billing. He is a great defender.
Those are the first words of the season from Seton Hall head coach Kevin Willard. Set to begin his 6th year at the helm for the Pirates, he's a coach that faces a unique combo of familiarity and diversity. Isaiah Whitehead, Kadeen Carrington, Desi Rodriguez, and Angel Delgado, all his prized jewels of last year's recruiting class, return. But the departure of backcourt depth from Sterling Gibbs and Jaron Cena leaves points and minutes up for grabs. Bring in Derek Gordon, who will round off the trio of guards with his defensive grit, and Braden Anderson, who fills the shoes of graduate Brandon Mobley in the paint to collaborate with the reigning Big East Rookie of the Year. Then look over to the women's side. Dede Simmons, Daisha Simmons, Chizobe Adigwe, and Janae Johnson all leave a program that brought home a regular season Big East title and a national tournament berth, while Alicia Powell and Shakina Richardson hope to help out Tabitha Richardson-Smith, an all-conference votee, to repeat and improve from last season. We'll preview all these games, these teams, and a weekend packed of basketball right here. This is Hall Talk.
This team needs to show me something for me to believe that they're going to make a run in the tournament.
I think they can have a chance of going over 35 wins without a problem.
Just stepping up from the 4 points to the 17, she's just dropping threes like there's no tomorrow.
But chemistry is an underrated key in college basketball.
That was by far the best game I've seen them play.
This is Hall Talk, and that's how the chalk talks. And welcome back to our Pirate Television studios. I'm your host, George Balekji, and joined alongside my panel, a familiar face in the control room. First time on this desk, Lewis. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me. I couldn't pick for a better team to be on here.
And my gosh, it's 2 weeks into No Shave November. We got a prime example right here, folks.
Get a little feel there.
Yeah,
I like it, though. I very much like it.
I can't wait to get started here. I'm actually fired up that we got Lewis on the show now. I can't wait to get it going.
I don't know what I'm more fired up for, that beard to see how long it goes, or for the season to begin tomorrow.
I'm going to say both. I like Hall ball.
So
I'm going to go with the beard.
Let's start out, and we'll go right into it for men's basketball. They are looking to win their 5th straight home opener in the season. And for Dartmouth, the streak they'd like to end on their own, haven't won an away season opener since 1987. So, Dartmouth is a winners, 4 of 3 overall in the record between these two programs. But this is a big debut for the team. Not because they have a poor foe that they should beat. It's because of the expectations. Like I mentioned before, Sterling Gibbs gone, Jaron Cena gone. Lewis, I'll start with you. X factor for the Pirates.
For me, the X factor is going to be showcasing if the Pirates can actually play well. They won the last game for the exhibition, but it kind of scared a few people because it went all the way up to the 4th quarter, the second half. And so for me, the X factor is the big man, Angel Delgado. It's his position in the big man position. So we want to see how he can control the paint early in the game. And it's the first glance at the other big men in terms of competition, because the season now is going to matter. And so we got Enze, Ishmael Sanogo. He had a big game, double-double. And we also got Miles Carter, who's going to be a student to Angel Delgado, I believe. And so that's my X factor. They're going to go up against some tough opposition in the big man position.
Now, for me, you mentioned all these guys. What do they all have in common? They're all sophomores. They're young players. But the thing is, for me, I think leadership is going to be key for this Seton Hall Pirates team this year. Now, they might be young. What we're saying, Isaiah Whitehead, clearly a McDonald's All-American. He knows how to play the game of basketball. Angel Delgado, who took Isaiah's reign of being the Rookie of the Year in the Big East last year. It's going to come down to leadership. They obviously had some issues going on last year. They've moved on past that. It's forgotten about now. Leadership is the number one thing this year, with also bringing in Braden Anderson, I might add, who is in grad school, a law student. That's crucial, too. I mean, the kid's got to have some smarts. So this team can move forward, and they can go on, and they need to lead each other in the right direction.
When you talk about experience, you look at Derek Gordon, the incoming transfer, and to me, the biggest role he has is that he's the only guard that can give a break for Isaiah and Kadeen, and he's seen national tournaments himself at his previous stops of UMass and Western Kentucky. What do you see defensively that he could bring to this team?
Defensively, he said it himself, or Coach Willard, said it himself. He's not going to give you 17 points a game like Sterling Gibbs did, but he will stop 17 points from
He's
the
all over
other
the place
team.
on defense.
He will be, and that's what is the biggest thing. And like you guys said, maturity. He will bring maturity, and it's a big help with the team going off social media for the season. That's going to be really big.
I'll believe that when I see
We'll
it.
see how long that actually
Yeah.
lasts for. Even Coach Willard said he didn't even believe that's going to happen. They tried it, and it went on for 2 days. They were back on it, and they're like, "No, Coach, we're going to start again." He doesn't believe it.
So what about for Dartmouth? I mean, they have players on their side of the ball. Who can stop the whole opening parade for the Pirates?
For me, Aaron, it's going to be Connor Boehm. He's the senior forward. They lost their best player in Alex Matola. He was their scorer, their leader, and now it's up to him, Mike Boner.
I got to disagree with that one.
See,
I gotta
because
disagree.
that's the thing, though.
No, Miles Wright. You know, he's a young player. They got Boehm coming in, who has potential to become the 28,000-point scorer in Dartmouth history. But Miles Wright is a sophomore. He was the reigning Ivy League Player of the Year. He's a 6'5" guard. You don't see that too often. He's a big man. He plays out on the wing. And now get this.
What do you mean 6'5" guard? You don't see that too often.
No, you don't.
You
But
don't see that often. Well, you're not in the NBA and stuff like that. But
Okay.
6'5" guard. He's playing out on the wing. He's not a point guard either. He's a shooter. He can get down. He's a physical. But in the Ivy League, they're also usually small. They got 5'9", a 5'11" guard. Throw him in the mix. But he can play in the big stage. He can be a leader for this team even as a sophomore.
Aaron, but you just said sophomores are young players. I don't think he can be the leader. He can score, definitely. They will lean on
Led the team in
him.
scoring 7 times last year. Went on a 5-game streak of 10 or more points.
Connor
Kick your
Boehm
play.
is the only player with over 50% shooting percentage. I mean,
And he's going to be
that's
battling
a
down in the
something.
paint. He's going to go against
right.
the Rookie of the Year in the Big East. So
Exactly,
real quick,
there you
we'll
go.
look at this. Dartmouth on Friday, Wagner on Sunday. Seton Hall's record coming out of the weekend for the
2-0.
men's team.
2-0.
Easily 2-0. The Wagner game for me is going to be seeing who takes advantage of the minutes played, especially in the 3 role.
Yeah.
We're still not quite sure if Veer's going to play. So that's Desi's to win. I should say to lose. It should be Desi's. And who's going to be Angel's either sub or partner in the starting position.
I'm with you 100% there. It's really, you got to take advantage of when you're on the court. Because Veer, it's looking a lot like he's not going to be playing this weekend because of a hand issue he's got going on. But Angel Delgado has to take advantage of this team. He needs to get big. He needs to stay big and assert his dominance down there in the paint. He needs to get up there. I think he's going to have a double-double this weekend in both games.
Real quick, George. Isaiah Whitehead is going to have a blast against Wagner. But I want him to have fun in terms of assists. He only had 3 assists in the entire game, and they all came in the second half in the exhibition match. If you want to be a point guard,
Plus
you got to
his 40
distribute the
plus
ball.
points.
You look at the guards in the past for Kevin Willard's system, though, they're the main scorer. A la Sterling Gibbs, who you mentioned.
Yep.
So we'll go over to the women's team. Same song and dance, loss of guards, backcourt has some turmoil, but bring in Shakina Richardson, transfer from Florida State. Alicia Powell followed Coach Bozzella over from Iona to Seton Hall. Sat out here, of course, with the transfer rules. They take on Bryant early in the morning, Friday morning, 11 a.m. Then they have Rutgers turn around 7 p.m. Monday night. This is a team that has a lot of question marks. Better success in the men's team, but a lot more losses. Expectations are high. They expect a repeat of that. Let's look at short-term on this weekend. Against Bryant, women's team, what's going to make the difference? Aaron, I'll start with you.
It's got to come down to the new additions to this team. Shakina Richardson, I'm going to look at her a lot this season. We already know what Tabs is capable of doing. She averaged almost 18 points last year and close to 8 rebounds. But Shakina, last year at Florida State, went to the Elite 8. So you got a Seton Hall team with players that were in the NCAA tournament last year, just one game. Then you bring in Shakina, a grad student now this year. She will be helping this team so much with the expectations of getting back to the NCAA tournament. Now, she can play the guard position better than most people I've seen. So it's going to come down to her playing her role and just being a leader for this team.
And you know, you lose 2 players, you get into Alicia Powell. She waited and she waited and she waited. She cannot wait to be back. We saw a glimpse of her. She played extremely well, Aaron.
Yep.
And she's going to be that other leader in the guard position. She can score. She's matured a lot, especially when she sat out. And they're going to have a tough day against Brian's player.
It's a good team.
Excuse me, it's Brianna Rucker, the NEC Conference Player of the Year last year. It's her senior year. She will be a very tough task
Oh, she's
for the
going to
2
be
guards.
an incredibly tough task. She had 22 double-doubles last year. That's 6 in the nation. And she plays on the wing.
And she's doubling in points and rebounds, George. That is scary for a wing.
What 5'11" player averages almost 12 rebounds a game?
I can't even rebound him.
That's what you got.
Exactly.
And you talk about Shakina Richardson being a leader, coach on the floor, like Coach Bozzella said she has. Her only biggest difference is that she has All-Americans that were in the post in Florida State. Now they're going to be 25 feet from the basket and tap of the Richardson Smith. Out of the weekend, well, let's go into Monday. Seton Hall women's basketball record. And Rutgers defeated their party last year, of course, in national tournament. Revenge?
I think they're seeking a lot of revenge here. They really need to come out. I think they're going to have a little bit higher expectations for themselves in this game, a little more incentive just because they were knocked out of the NCAA tournament, which they hadn't been in 20 years, by the arch rival of New Jersey, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. So I think they're going to really want to win this game.
It's going to be a fun atmosphere at Walsh on Monday night, George.
It's going to be loud.
I do give this team a 1-1 record coming off from the bat. The game against Bryant's going to be a good test in the beginning. It's going to be a good test for Rutgers, and I don't want to get too far away, but also a big matchup against Princeton after Rutgers. So that's my record. I
agree. It's going to be a really tough weekend for them. I think they're going to knock off Rutgers. Bryant, on the other hand, I do actually think they will pull a victory out, but it's going to be a hard game.
It is. It's very much. Coach Brazil has stressed it enough. They're a high three-point shooting team. They're going to try the zone. Let's see how comfortable they are with that defense.
All right, well put. Gentlemen, thank you. We have a big ride ahead of us for this weekend. Of course, an even longer season to go ahead on. That's me basketball season all around. You know where to stick to get all your info, all your interviews, and all the intel you want on both the Seton Hall men's and women's basketball program. For Aaron Ross, Louis Olvera, and George Balekji, this is Hall Talk. Make sure to tune in next week.